Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most thrilling scientific heists in human history. I want you to imagine trying to map a massive spherical planet without ever actually leaving the ground. I mean, it sounds literally impossible, right? But ancient humans somehow pulled it off, and today we're going to see exactly how they did it.
Think about it for a second. We live in an era where we can pull up our blue planet from space with just a quick tap on our phone screens. But let's shatter that modern comfort zone for a minute. Without airplanes, without helicopters, without a single satellite orbiting the Earth, how could ancient civilizations possibly know the shape of the land? How did they know the curves of the rivers or the immense scale of mountain ranges? How do you see the whole world when you're completely stuck on the ground?
Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we rely on the ultimate modern cheat codes, right? Satellites and GPS. But the ancients, they relied on pure, mind-blowing human genius. Their mapping tools weren't launched into orbit in a rocket. They were forged through deep, relentless observations of the stars, groundbreaking leaps in mathematics, and incredibly precise surveying techniques on the ground.
And this genius stretches back way further than you probably think. Accurate surveying dates all the way back to the 25th century BC. Over in ancient Babylon, archaeologists uncovered this amazing little 7.6 centimeter clay tablet at a site called Gaz-Sur. It's this tiny, fragile artifact from millennia ago, but it perfectly mapped a river valley. We're talking hills, rivers, even cardinal directions. It's absolute proof that the drive to mathematically map our world is basically as old as civilization itself.
Section 1. Relying on stars, looking to the sky.
Because you see, to map anything beyond a local city, you had to look up. The Egyptians, the Greeks, the Indians, they all realized pretty quickly that to understand the ground beneath their feet, they had to understand the sky above them. So they used the pole star, Polaris, as a fixed reference point. They rigorously tracked shifting constellations, figuring out that stars change position depending on exactly where you're standing on Earth. They tracked the precise path of the sun. They even studied how a tall ship's mast slowly vanishes over the curvature of the horizon. These weren't just pretty things to look at. They were colossal, planet-sized scientific instruments used to calculate the sheer vastness of the world.
It all boils down to this. The horizon and stars were literally humanity's first map. Ancient Greek philosophers and mathematicians, guys like Anaximander and Eratosthenes, used these exact celestial relationships to start drafting the very first blueprints of our entire world. They were drawing the Earth just by reading the cosmos. How cool is that?
Section 2. The birth of the world grid. Coordinates and precision.
Because drawing rough shapes just wasn't enough. Humanity craved absolute mathematical precision. And this is where we get the glorious invention of longitude and latitude. We are talking about a brilliant, game-changing coordinate system of intersecting vertical and horizontal lines used to pinpoint any single location on a spherical Earth. And guess what? This is the exact same foundational grid system that's powering the map app on your smartphone right now. The ancients literally invented the GPS grid.
8,000. The sheer scale of this achievement is staggering. During the Roman Empire, the Greco-Roman genius Ptolemy plotted over 8,000 individual coordinate points in his epic 8-volume atlas, the Geographia. 8,000! Using nothing but his own mind, astronomical observations, and recorded data from travelers, he built a comprehensive index of the world that became the true prototype for all modern mapping.
And this brilliantly illustrates that genius happens globally. While Ptolemy was painstakingly working on his coordinate grid over in the West, over in China, a guy named Pai Shu, who is totally rightfully called the Ptolemy of China, was independently outlining the exact same mapping principles. He established the use of plotted geometrical grids and graduated scales to get extreme accuracy when estimating distances. Two entirely different empires separated by thousands of miles, sharing one brilliant human breakthrough.
Section 3. The Islamic Golden Age, Advancing Cartography.
As Europe moved into the Middle Ages, the mapping narrative shifted east, and scholars there unlocked the ultimate cross-disciplinary magic formula. Brilliant minds, like Al-Biruni, took ancient astronomical observations and combined them with Al-Khwarizmi's revolutionary developments in algebra and geometry. When you smash those three subjects together, you get an incredibly powerful, entirely new science, geodesy.
So, geodesy is the scientific discipline that deals with measuring and representing the Earth's exact geometric shape and spatial orientation. For anyone watching who dreaded math classes in school, remember this. Algebra and geometry were actually the secret cheat codes ancient scholars used to unlock the true, quantifiable shape of our entire planet.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it might completely challenge your modern worldview. We are so incredibly used to maps having north at the top, right? But look closely at this map, the Tabula Rogeriana. It was created in 1154 by the brilliant Muslim cartographer Muhammad Ali Idrisi, and he placed south at the top. It flips our modern perspective totally upside down, but mathematically and practically, it was flawlessly constructed for its era.
I mean, this map was an absolute masterpiece. Al-Idrisi synthesized ancient Greek logic, cutting-edge Islamic math, and extensive reports from merchants traveling all the way out to China and Africa. The result was a map so incredibly accurate, so reliable, that it was used for 300 years without a single correction. 3 centuries. It was the absolute gold standard for cartography.
Section 4. The Chinese Compass, Conquering the Oceans. Because to truly conquer the globe, mapmakers needed one final piece of tech. Enter the Chinese discovery of magnetism. The Chinese unlocked the mind-blowing secret that the Earth has an invisible magnetic field, and that this field interacts with a magnetized needle so it will always, without fail, point north. They literally tapped into the invisible forces of the planet to create the compass.
But history is just full of these fascinating little twists. Initially, the Chinese actually used this profound magnetic discovery primarily for feng shui, architecture, and divining auspicious locations for buildings. But as this incredible tech made its way across the global trade routes, the Western and Islamic world saw it and adopted it specifically to perfect their marine cartography and deep-sea navigation. It was this ultimate merging of global ideas that changed everything.
Section 5. Humanity's greatest innovation, a global synthesis.
Let's move to this timeline and see how this all builds because it is absolutely exhilarating. We start with brilliant Babylonian surveyors in the 25th century BC, jump straight to Ptolemy's groundbreaking grid in the 2nd century AD, launch into the mathematical wizardry of Islamic geodesy in the 12th century, and it all finally culminates in the global integration of the compass by the 14th century. It's a rapid-fire timeline of pure, unstoppable human genius spanning thousands of years.
When you look at a map, you are not just looking at geography, folks. You are looking at human history. It is the ultimate, epic culmination of collaboration. Every single coordinate, every single boundary line you see represents millennia of brilliant minds from Greece, from China, from the Middle East, and beyond, all working together across the ages to figure out exactly where we are in the universe. It is a massive masterpiece of shared intelligence.
So, I want to leave you with this thought. The next time you open a map app on your phone to find a coffee shop or you check your GPS on the highway, ask yourself, will you remember the thousands of years of raw, groundbreaking human genius that put the entire world right into your pocket? Keep exploring, keep learning, and never, ever lose your wonder for this incredible planet.